Welcome back to the Charismatic Voice. Today is a special day, and we're going to be celebrating Kirk's birthday by listening to some more Tool, to Pushit specifically. Now, version-wise, there really are two different versions we had an option of. One is a studio album version, and one is a live performance in the Salival tour. Both versions are very different. They had sort of a different take during this live performance that's on the Salival tour. So we decided to do the studio album version. This is because Kirk really appreciated the eloquence of the anger and the expression, really the vocal expression he said was good in this version. I haven't heard it yet, so this will be my first introduction to it. I did take a look at the lyrics and they are strong. We're probably going to have some profanity here, so if you've got really delicate ears, I totally understand if you're like, I'm going to skip this one. And also, if you're not sure who Kirk is my husband and partner with all things regarding the channel. So if you're like, oh no, what about all of those marriage proposals I've sent her? Thank you so much for the compliments. I appreciate you. Let's listen to some good music. This intro has a lot of really interesting sounds in it. The just that very first part with the strings was particularly interesting to me. Remind me a little bit of Threnody. I think it's Threnody for strings or Threnody for the victims of Hiroshima. Very intense, extensive technique on string instruments. This beginning, it had sort of had some tremolo going on in the strings where they're going back really fast. Lots of pitch bending, playing on different parts of the bow for sure. And the way that had the bending and a half step as well. Half steps are just full of lots of tension. And then the way that expanded into the orchestra, so you had lots of overlap. It's wrought with tension, tons of it. It was very interesting build-up. And then I was really interested when you had some of essentially the amplified sounds come in. Even those, they had like these stuttering sounds that sort of mimicked the tremolo that had happened in the strings as well. So it was very interesting. And then the voices mixed really far back in this, meaning it's kind of hard to hear what words he's saying. I have the lyrics pulled up here so we can do some analysis on them. So I know what he was saying, but hearing him at first, I actually wasn't even sure that he was saying words or maybe if he was just mumbling, but he's mixed so far back that I think it's a really interesting choice. It's almost like the person isn't quite present yet. I'm really curious where it's going to go though. Let's go back to the moment that made me jump at this point. Whoops. There we go. Wow, it's interesting. Maynard's playing with sounds here in a lot of ways, sometimes more than he's actually playing with the words and delivering lyrics. So he's really accenting the SH, the pushing me and shoving me are the words he's saying. It's, but you're pushing me, shoving me, repeating over and over there. And the SH in there is coming through really loudly and clearly. SH is often considered a harsher sound as well. So it's very interesting to hear that that play and the way that that, of course, cuts through other instruments because it's a very, very high frequency. And I thought it was also interesting to hear that beginning vocal section. It had the setting further back in the mix, maybe a little bit of drive added to the voice. And then when you got to the next section, it sounds much more personal. It sounds like Maynard is closer to the mic or just closer to us in general. So they brought him more forward in the mix. I'm going to go back just a little bit so you can listen to that SH play there. It's really interesting. Really cool crescendo there as well, where you get more lines in the vowels. A lot of times singers think about carrying their line in a vowel, and in this he lets the consonants peek through it first and then raises the volume of the overall phonation, so you're not just hearing that SH. Let's go back, catch that transition. It's interesting to me. It sounds like it's just been hanging out in A minor all the time. So rather than having a lot of harmony that's evolving, which often will drive a piece forward, it seems to keep coming back to A minor. And I can't help but think that there's a reason for this. Tool, typically, they have a lot of thought that goes into their music. They're very analytical. And this is essentially, from my reading of it, it seems like it's about a relationship that is very difficult to exit. Probably a codependent relationship, where this pushing and shoving is maybe about one person who knows that they need to leave the relationship. Maybe both people know, I don't know. But they feel like they can't get out of it because there's somebody that's drawing them back in. So in order to get out of the relationship, they have to push back against the other person more and maybe do some more harm to be released from it. So it seems like there's a certain staticness, and it's an unhappy staticness. So minor is often related to sadness or anger, frustration. So it makes sense that this would be set in a minor key. And it also makes sense, you hear the bass will often move and try and go around to a couple different notes, but it keeps coming back to A minor, and the harmony's not evolving. So that would be indicative to me of something that just refuses to evolve and become something new or something better. Let's go back a little bit and keep going. I gotta say, I lost the time signature there for a bit. I had like a really clear triple time signature back. Let's go back here. 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. I don't know. I think it stops being 1, 2, 3 there. this is another one of the reasons why I think Tool is really amazing. Danny Carey, their drummer, is able to move so fluidly between different time signatures and even carry different time signatures. Yeah. Anyhow, he can carry different time signatures. Like he can have one going in one hand, one in another hand, and I feel like he can carry like two more in both of his feet. It's very, very impressive. He just is a time signature genius, one of the best that I think exists today. So this moment, it almost sounded like they went from a 3/4 to a 4/4, but it really was so very fluid that I would want to take a lot more time to analyze it and be sure. But let's go back a little bit because I was listening so much to that time signature glory that I missed what Maynard was saying here. Wow. That again, hearing that pushing me, shoving me part and the build on that is so cool. And the fact that he highlights the consonants first, it's just very, very effective. I really dig that part. The lyrics before, let's talk a little bit about these lyrics. Rest your trigger on my finger, bang my head upon the fault line. You'd better take care not to make me enter, because if I do, we both may disappear. And it just really clearly talks to me about a relationship that is harmful to both people. But it seems like someone is trying to not let the other person leave. And I understand, like, sometimes it's really scary to let go of someone. And so it seems like there's this need and scariness maybe of being alone or something new that's causing somebody to hurt the other person. But the person that's there, if they get pulled back in and they really just get consumed in the person that's wanting them to stay, that they're going to disappear. So yeah, it definitely sounds like some codependency there to me. Let's go back. I like this part. That's really interesting. I love the anger in Maynard's voice at this point. We're going to listen to this section one more time too. There's some grit that's coming up in there. He's able to he has so much cleanliness that he can put into his voice. Just have these really pure notes that almost sound instrumental in their, this pure, even sometimes an almost bell-like sound. It's crazy. But then in this section, you really hear some harsh vocals coming in and this rage building up in his voice. I like that. Very, very expressive. Also, he just has great pitch. He's got amazing pitch. So this was interesting to me because it says, you still love me, you still love me. She didn't mean to push it on me. Then you're pushing me, shoving me. So earlier, here's the profanity, so it said you didn't need to shit on me, essentially. And I was looking at push it on me. Sometimes when relationships are ending, like somebody will push the blame onto the other person. I don't know if that's what they intended, but that could be one interpretation of it. But push it, I'm realizing it feels like it's an amalgamation of push shit on me. And I think that also goes with that earlier line of you didn't need to shit on me. Wow, that's probably the most I've ever cussed on this channel. Definitely check in that box in the YouTube if this contains profanity. But anyhow, I think that's really cool that they've put the words together here and it has that vagueness so you can interpret it how you would like to. Very, very interesting. Let's go back. Let's check out that rage again. It's very interesting, the expression, and then listen for that cool word. Sorry, we're gonna go back. By the way, it's I think 12/8 right now, but wow, I love this entrance here for Maynard. Wow. Whoa, that was a nice held out dirty vocal there. Ooh, that his entrance at that one spot is just glorious. The way he was like, it sounded like it started inside, but it had this rage built up because you could hear some vibrato going at the same time. Oh, wow, very expressive. What's he saying there? Peace of mind? It's like sounds anything like not peace of mind. The whole word, but I'd trade it all for just a little peace of mind. Oh, yeah. Basically saying that and holding out mind to show the torment that's there. And what an interesting one to elongate, to specifically make a contrast between what would be peaceful and what isn't. Oh, back one more time. Wow. The section where he's saying push it on me, I just felt this well of emotion come up in there. That's really great. Well, it's not great emotion. It feels like major sympathy for what this person is going through. Basically welcoming the other person maybe to take all of the blame and push it on them so that they can use that to exit. And honestly, the emotion in the voice felt like it got to such a crest where it couldn't go further, and then the instrumental came up and it helped it to bubble over. It was very effective. Very ominous now. The texture here is entirely changed. We've had a lot more things that had higher drive-in frequency, and now you have almost echoes every now and then. Like I said, ominous. It feels just deeper in tone quality overall. Doesn't have as much aggression in the sound. I'm not really sure why that's happened, but I just wanted to note it. I really love the pitch bending toms, I think, that are happening in here. Or maybe not toms. Oh, it's very cool percussion. This almost feels like a trance now. It's just so very different. It's still hanging out around A minor. That's super curious to me. It has evolved, but it has not changed key signatures. So home is still this minor unhappy place. Yeah, very, very interesting. The push me somewhere I don't want to be, I think is what he's saying here. Yeah, I'm somewhere I don't want to be. Started off right away by saying I am somewhere I don't want to be. I don't know if maybe this person got sucked back in, that it feels like it's a dark, almost creepy, just very unhappy place still. Pitch bending there mimics some of the strings at the beginning. I often feel like in acapella music, you have all of these ear candy moments, essentially, where you're like, "Ooh, that was a really cool part. That was that cool part. That was," and I feel like the percussion equivalent is Danny Carey. I love the way he's utilizing so many different sounds of percussion. I can't name them all. There's just so many where I'm like, "Ooh, that was a cool sound. Oh, that was a really cool sound. Ooh, that was a cool sound." They're everywhere. It's really, really catching to the ear, and it's like almost like shinies for the ear, essentially. It's wonderful. The distortion on the guitar here almost sounds similar to the cymbal. It gets so noisy at times that it has that same higher frequencies that the cymbal does, which are also similar to the SH that you were hearing in pushing me, shoving me. So all of those things sit really high in a frequency spectrum. And so you might think like 440 hertz is a concert A, meaning that it vibrates the air at 440 times per second. This is much, much, much higher. This is in like the thousands, probably above 10,000. I need to check that again. But that area of frequency can be very just disturbing to our ears. We do interpret it as feeling somewhat agitating. So it's interesting that they really are leaning on that sound and that really high frequency so much. Was so disturbing. That screeching sound that like bends down. I feel like it's like part of a horror film. Ugh. you're supposed to sing again. Pitch bending is often something that people will put in horror films. That's one of the things that our ears just don't like. Very, very interesting to me that you have sounds that are reminiscent of horror films in this. It sounds like this relationship is a terrifying place to be. Very much not just in the expression of the voice, but in all the ways that they have added music behind it as well. That's interesting. The harmony shifted a little bit more there. And it goes with the words, which were right before, which say, saw that gap again today while you were begging me to stay, managed to push myself away. So we have movement here. And you as well, my dear. So it's interesting that it has shifted. Very, very, I love the subtleties in their composition. So cool. Listen to this shift when right after he says, as you and you as well, my dear, then he says, if when I say I might fade like a sigh if I stay, there's just a different feeling to it. You can tell that there has been harmonic movement. Oh, right before. So it's interesting. Right there, while he's singing, you have D major hanging out underneath. It's a D major chord that's hanging out underneath when he says, if when I say I might fade like a sigh if I stay. So we've gone from A minor, which is like, scary, to D major, which feels just vastly different harmonic. It is happier. Still sounds like there's some pain in there, but that's not harmonic pain anymore. Let's go back one more time and listen to that switch. And here's where D major. Oh, this is such a good line. There's no love in fear. When I was reading through the lyrics before watching this, I was wondering how that would be said because it stood out to me as one of the strongest lines in the entire song. There's no love in fear. And I love the way that they've said it here. It needs to be set apart. It needs to be shout out loud and sustain. A lot of times people are scared to leave a bad situation, and that's not love. That's not a good place to be. So I love that they've set it apart like this with this huge vocal, really crest and energy. It's great. interesting. It sounds like because we're starting to hang out in a minor key again as this is going on, and I was like, wait, I don't think we're back to A minor again, but it's definitely sitting on a different key signature right now. So, and his words here are staring down the hole again. So they're actually hanging out in D minor now. So we were at this D major, like we got out, but now it sounds like they're back in it. So they've gone to the new D area, but it's a D minor instead of D major. Whoa, that's intense. Wow, it sounds like they got pulled back in to the relationship from this, but it's different from before because it's not A minor, it's D minor now. And they're saying, remember, I will always love you. So of course this person still loves the other. But as I claw your fucking throat away, oh, that's awful. It sounds like the only way that they can figure out how to leave is to really hurt the other person. Ugh, it will end no other way. Like that's the only way that they can get out. Oh, that's so unfortunate. Man. Guys, communication is so important in relationships. Just saying, please communicate everything. Transparency in communication is wonderful. Okay, got off my soapbox for a bit. This sounds like it just sucks. The situation is awful for them. And it is so clear from the anger in the music and in his vocal expression here and the lyrics, everything that's going together, it creates this like dreadful feeling inside of me. That was very intense. Then very intense in the music and the lyrics and the voice, all of it combined together. That really left me with a feels. Wow, it's hard to have so much dread after listening to music. I love music, but this song made me feel just lots of very intense emotions inside. Wow. Whew. I grow more and more in awe and respect for what Tool does. I think that they're brilliant in the way that they write lyrics, that they choose certain harmonies or sounds to express those lyrics and express the message and story. It's very interesting. And it also is always a journey. They don't take many typical song structures that we would see today, and instead they're really continuing to progress through something. It's very interesting, very fun to analyze. And also all of the musicians in this group are just top level musicians. I love the combination too of how they bring all of their sounds together. It seems like such an amazing collaboration of people. Really, really cool. Thank you, Kirk, for recommending this. And also everybody say happy birthday, Kirk. Tool is a fantastic band, and I hope that all of us will listen more to Tool. I don't know that Kirk could listen more to Tool. That's like one of the only bands that he listens to. I would say that at least 75% of the time he's listening to music, he's listening to Tool, and he's taken great care to not play this song for me so that I'd be able to have a first-time reaction. So thank you once again. And if you guys would like to make recommendations for reactions and analysis, please put those in the comments down below YouTube. That is the best place for us to find them. We go through that, we tally it, and we will react to what you request the most. So just put that in those comments. And also you can find me here on YouTube and talk with me live on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Fridays at 8 a.m. while we're premiering videos. And if you just want to chat and play games, you can find me on Patreon. Or if you want to learn more about music or about singing, you can find that on my site at thecharismaticvoice.com. I hope to see you somewhere soon.